Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be making some comments about events in the past 24 hours, and then the Commissioner will be providing some details on the operation. This morning, I come before you with the heaviest of hearts. Unbelievably, overnight, we have lost some of our own in an attack we would never thought we would see here in our city. In the past 24 hours, this city has been shaken by a tragedy that none of us could have ever imagined. The values we held dear yesterday, we hold dear today. They are the values of freedom, democracy and harmony. These defined us yesterday, they will define us today, they will define us tomorrow. Our first thoughts and prayers this morning are with the innocent victims of this horrendous, vicious attack. I want to say to their family and friends that everyone in New South Wales stands beside you. They stand beside you today, they stand beside you tomorrow, they will stand beside you forever. I want to pay tribute to the men and women of the New South Wales Police who saved many, many lives over the past 24 hours, and they have risked their lives in doing so. I also want to pay tribute to all the other emergency workers and authorities who provided vital assistance during these events. My thoughts also remain with those hostages who have been freed. They will be provided every support they need in coming days, weeks and months. We are a peaceful, harmonious society which is the envy of the world. Today, whilst we grieve, we must go about our usual business. We must work, we must talk to our family, we must talk to our friends. But I say to everyone in New South Wales, today we must come together like never before. We are stronger together. We will get through this. We will get through this. But the events that we have seen have shaken us, but they do not dampen our resolve. I'll ask the Commissioner to say some words.
Good morning. Thank you, Premier. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to now confirm and leave you in no mistake. We're now dealing with a critical incident. In police terms, that means that there's a detailed, thorough investigation which has already commenced. We need to actually find out what's happened here and what's happened inside that cafe. It's not time to speculate or to develop theories. We're going to work through the facts and we will advise you as soon as we can. At this time, we actually need to think about the hostages. The Premier's already indicated those that are caught up in the ordeal. I can only imagine the terror that they've been through. They're very brave people who in many cases were just buying a cup of coffee and they got caught up in this dreadful affair. We should reflect on their courage, the courage that they displayed during the many hours in that room. They had to make decisions, hard decisions, and our heart goes out to them. I'm sure you would agree. We too share the grief of the families and the pain that they've been through, not knowing what was happening to their loved ones and not being able to help them. It's been a distressing time for those families, I'm sure you would agree. To the people of Sydney, this was an isolated incident. It is an isolated incident. Do not let this sort of incident bring about any loss of confidence about working or visiting in our city. It was the act of an individual. This should never destroy or change the way of our life, and as the Premier's indicated, this won't change our lives. This will not change the things that we hold dear in this country. Right now, I ask for members of the community to come together. We're Australians, we support mates, we help friends, and this is exactly what we should be doing at this time. It's not about finding reasons to divide communities, but finding ways to actually heal the wounds, to help everyone grow stronger, because we all want a stronger Australia. I too would like to commend the work of our police. While everyone might now second guess as to what's actually occurred in the last hours, well, they're the ones who had to make the decision. Our police had to actually deal with this incident. It was tough, exacting work, many hours, whether they were on a point or whether they were part of a team that had to make that entry and deal with this situation. I want to point out they have saved lives. They have saved many lives. And to those men and women, all that were involved, we thank you. As your Commissioner, I thank you, but as a community, I'm sure Australia thanks you. Thank you that you're there and prepared to do this. To put your life on the line to keep us safe is a very, very honourable cause, and for that our gratitude goes out to you. I can indicate to you that we have accounted for, at this stage, 17 hostages. That includes the 5 that escaped yesterday and a number of that have been caught up with, some with traumatic injury, some with medical conditions. We have, as you have reported, 2 deceased amongst the hostages and 6 that were uninjured. We also have a lone gunman who has been shot and killed, and we have a male police officer who has been injured as a result of a gunshot wound to the face. I have talked to that officer. He is in good condition. He has certainly been assessed and will be remaining in hospital for some time. Not too long, we hope, but he is well and grateful to be alive, let me assure you. That, ladies and gentlemen, is where I'll hand it over to you for questions.
Commissioner, if I can ask, the decision to make that entry, why was it made at that particular point?
Well, that's a decision that was made by the teams responsible. These are the experts. What we don't do is compete with those that have to make that call. They made the call because they believed that at that time, if they didn't enter, there would have been many more lives lost.
Why is that? Why do you think at that moment was the critical thing? What had changed the scenario?
Well, I think that events that were unfolding inside the premises led them to the belief that now was the time to actually deploy, and they did.
What events are happening inside?
Well, at this stage, I understand that there was a number of gunshots that were heard, which caused officers to move straight to what we call an EA, an emergency action plan, and that caused them to enter.
Commissioner, was it the case that the gunman had fallen asleep at any stage and that enabled the hostages that were in there to make that break, and as a consequence the decision was to come?
I'm certainly not in a position to confirm that. As I said, now's not the time to second-guess or speculate. This is a critical incident. We will go through this investigation. We need to get it right. We have talked to the coroner. You must understand the coroner has jurisdiction, and we're going to work with the coroner at this stage. There is much to be done.
Commissioner, was the gunman on Allen Bail, or was he
at this stage, I'm not going to go into that right now. We're dealing with this critical incident, our thoughts, and we're particularly turning our minds to looking after these hostages and the families of those that have been caught up in this. And of course, we have 2 that have died as a result of actions inside that cafe, and we're particularly trying to make sure that we're there to comfort those families.
Where are the uninjured hostages and how are they being taken care of at this point?
Can you repeat that, please?
The uninjured hostages, yes. The ones that aren't in hospital. Where are they at the moment? How are they being taken care of?
They're part of a hostage reception plan. We're dealing with those. They're part of this investigation. We need to talk to them. They're being looked after in terms of their psychological needs at the moment. We'll then work with them, but at this stage they are being well cared for.
Reunited with families?
Family are certainly involved in this process.
I appreciate it's a critical incident, but do you know whether the hostages were killed by the gunman or caught in the crossfire?
Again, as a result of an exchange of gunfire inside that premises, police moved in, and at this stage, as I've indicated, we have a number of people that are injured, and certainly we're working through that as part of the critical incident.
He was obviously well known. He was obviously well known to police. When was the last contact that police had with him? And was he under surveillance by his?
Again, that's part of what will come out once we go further into this. But at this stage, we're not going to enter into that. Sorry, excuse me.
Was the escalation of the government's actions inside the building related at all to his name being released by media and by the police?
Look, I've got no advice to that.
Premier, you've been criticised for the Bail Act in the past. There's obviously been reports that this guy was out on bail. Are you concerned that essentially that allows several things to happen?
Well, I'm concerned that there was a vicious, horrendous attack that has taken place in the heart of our city. And there are many questions that will come in coming hours, days and weeks. What I can assure you is I will answer every single one of them. We will get to the bottom of events, and we will do everything possible to ensure we do not see happen again in this city what we saw in the last 24 hours.
Commissioner, there were reports of explosives at some point. Did officers, when they moved into the building, find any trace of those at all?
At this stage, what I can assure you is that that particular premises has been secured, and at this stage we have no explosive devices that have been found.
Can you at least reveal the treatment that the hostages, felt in the siege? Were they treated well, or were they abused? Is there any indication of that?
Well, look at this stage, rather than go into that, until we were involved in this emergency action, we believed that no one had been injured. That changed. We changed our tack.
Is Mr. Meredith, is he an Australian citizen? Has he been living here for a while, or how long has he been known to police?
Look, at this stage again, that will be part of what will come out. We will be talking to you later through today, and I'm sure that we'll be able to give you some more information. But again, we will not compromise this investigation. It's important that we get this right. Of course, the other issue that we always need to be mindful of is, rather than give you some information for the sake of giving you some information, we want to make sure that it's accurate. So when it's accurate, and only when it's accurate, we will release. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.